please raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter. So help me God.
I will. Thank you so much.
Congratulations. Welcome, Senator. Number 59 in the Congressional Black Caucus.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No. Black history is America's history, period. There is a plan afoot to distract from the fact that the very same ones who would try to erase America's history don't have a plan for America's future. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us.
Living off borrowed time, the clock tick faster. That'll be the hour they knock the slick blaster. Dick dastardly, a monthly with sick laughter. A gunfight and they come to cut the mix master. And living the true gods. Giving y'all nothing but the lick like two broads. Got more lyrics than the church got ooh lords. And they hold the mic at your attention like two swords. Or you the one with two blades on it. Hey you, don't touch the mic like it's AIDS on it.
All right. Welcome once again to the beatzillapdx official show. I am your host, beatzillapdx official. And this is the weekly wrap-up, as y'all have just recently noticed. And so we are here live once again on a Friday night. Like I said, it has been a while since I've been live, so I felt that, hey, let's get two in this week. So I like going live, and I also like doing the on my camera. Hopefully my camera did not cut out, or maybe I froze. It looks like we're back. Okay, that was weird. All right, I guess that's how it's gonna be tonight. But anyway, as you are coming in, please hit the like button, share this on your social media if you have not already, and I guess if you have, why not do it again? Much appreciated, and for all of those members who are members of the channel, I really appreciate you as well. So first, let me say thank you. And so for those of you who are not already subscribed to this channel, you should be. That way you would be in the chat by now. So what you can do is you can hit that subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell. Hit the word all. That way you'll be notified anytime a video goes live, like right now, or a video is uploaded, either just straight upload or premiere. So that's what you will be notified, and you should be getting notified. And if family, if you're not notified, by the way, please mention that in the comments because I'm sure you're catching the replay. So, like I said, if you did not get notified of this broadcast and you have your notifications on, please put that in the comments. I'd appreciate that. Thank you. So with that being said, we are doing part 2 of the last broadcast. That was number 1, and we're talking about symbolic politics. And again, dealing with empty symbolism. That's what we opened with. So that's where we wanted to go for the last broadcast. So now we are going to conclude because we have to walk it down. Also, there was another piece that I noticed that I want to kind of pay a little visit to. Y'all might not have got wind of this particular story because there was so much other stuff going on. This one kind of snuck under the radar. But, we're going to talk about it tonight. But before we go any further, let's see who we have in the building thus far. We have Quasi Black Star. Welcome. Yes, indeed, unless you go by Quasi, which I've seen both. So shout out either Quasi or Quasi Black Star. Appreciate you being here. Black first. Key Prince in the building. Welcome. Thank you. TGIF. I appreciate that so much. And yes, happy Friday to you. And for those of you who got banking holidays off, this is a 3-day weekend for you. So enjoy it. Lady Effa in the house. Another one of our members. Black First Family. Welcome, my good sister. Appreciate it. Tia to you in the house. And welcome to you, my good sister. Yes, indeed. Thank you for being here on a Friday evening. Old grandma in the house. Jersey City is in the building. I appreciate you for being here, spending your Friday evening with us. Tay the man in the building. Welcome, my good brother. I appreciate you being here. Let's see. We got D. Foster in the house. Black First family. I appreciate you being here, my brother. And we got our good brother, dark skinned brother in the house. Shout out to you. Yes, indeedy. I can see my Friday folks is in the house. Rhonda Smith in the building. Happy Friday, y'all. I appreciate you being here. Much obliged, sister. So let's get this show on the road. So, like I said, we're going back to this appointment that has happened, and they're making a big deal out of it. Partly because she's black, but mainly because she's black and LGBTQ. So that's why this is a big story. And again, I just want you all the pictures on your screen right now. All of the pictures in this thumbnail, none of these are from this year. I just wanted you to see the graphic of that to understand how long this has been in play. You understand what I'm saying? So again, let's go here. See, this is for the 2020 election. You understand? So you were already seeing LaFonza Butler being pushed out there into the mix. Fast forward to earlier this week, she somehow is the person that is filling Dianne Feinstein, who died in office. She should have been long retired. This also kind of should bring another reflection back to when they had to tell her just vote yes. And it should have to bring some of these decisions coming out of Senator Feinstein's decision. Like, what you might want to look at that and re-examine it. So with the hasty quickness, you throw this out. And so what this says is, okay, we're going to kill a few birds with one stone, but one thing we're most definitely going to do right now is make sure that that we use a black woman, and let's go find us a nice good stizza to come fill this gap. And so now with Dianne Feinstein being gone, well, if we put this black woman in here, then we'll be able to maneuver a new black caucus seat. And so that'll be like a historic appointment. And when these black folks talking about, man, what is Joe Biden doing for black people? We'll be able to point to LaFonza Butler, president. She was the president of Emily's List. And for those of you who are unaware of Emily's List, I believe that is another one of those particular organizations which might have a few of the same funding partners as JAM. You understand? So, yeah. Again, well, we have long told y'all, follow the money. And this is absolutely no different. You know what I'm saying? Oh, let me see here. Oh, shout out to you. We got some chick named Star in the building. Welcome, my sister. Happy Friday to you. And peace, power, blessings, and protection be upon you and yours. for the Cash App donation I see. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And okay. Yes, indeed. Shout out to my good West Coast. You on the West Coast, I believe. Shout out to you, sister. Let's see. So where we at? So again, LaFonza Butler. She's extremely LGBT. I mean, I hate to say extremely LGBTQ, but when I say she pushes the agenda, like, oh man. And what's so crazy about this woman, you should have known she would have been the one picked. Barbara Lee, has on occasion spoken up for black folks. Go check this woman's social media. Ain't none of it scrubbed, because you don't have to scrub nothing. Because you don't have to scrub anything when she never said yay or nay about the black community. Only thing that she could ever say about the black community was nothing. Now, when she's being involved in things for being a black woman, well, you'll hear her refer, because again, she knows what company she's in. So she's in the company of people that want to hear the reference of her being a black woman. Other than that, oh man. No, she's just a baby hating stuff. Because she is full blown. I mean, like, Emily's List will not even back a candidate that is not pro-abortion. So y'all better understand. Okay, some chick named Star. Yeah, I absolutely thought so. Shout out to you, sister. D. Foster with the super chat, man. Peace, power, blessings, and protection be up on you and yours. I appreciate that, brother. Pop said in the same. Follow the bag. Keep it up, my brother. Man, I'm telling you, it's like all of this money. And think about it. In all honesty, why are they investing? You're like, we're at this point, we're able to witness them investing money into people trying to undermine our empowerment. And then people like, we were talking so much about race and we're focused all on race. Are you kidding? We are literally seeing people funding money hand over fist to just gotta disrupt these Negroes. Gotta throw a monkey wrench in the plane. I mean, we're watching it. You can see it, the money go out the door in front of your face and into a hotel's pocket to house some illegal invaders in front of your face. Patricia Slade, Jersey City in the building. Welcome, my good sister. Peace, power, blessings, and protection be upon you. And for just being here. I believe you're one of our older sisters, and I appreciate y'all. I'm glad I'm y'all cup of tea. So, because a few of y'all, I've heard from a few of y'all, and I didn't realize, like, oh, okay, I was surprised. It's like, oh, okay, you 70? And what I'm saying is striking a bell. Well, I appreciate y'all. I absolutely do. And it's funny too, because man, it must really have sucked to be in your generation having the pro-black minds that y'all do, being around them. Oh my goodness. I mean, at least we got a much heavier group of grassroots black folks that are really, really for the cause. I mean, man, all y'all had was, and y'all was oversaturated with like the church line too. So I mean, no. Once they got all of the the strong, we need to fight and we need to go get something done and we need to change something. Yeah, once they got that generation about to paint, then came the we shall overcome, and we just only gonna sing about the past. See, we got to reflect on what Martin Luther King's dream was. She gave her, and so this LaFonza woman, just to show you how off-putting she is with black folks, it was the holiday, Martin Luther King, Dr. Martin Luther King Day. Her only reference to who he was like some real light generic. Let me see if I got that real quick. I see Derek Parker in the building. Welcome, my brother, Derek Parker. And y'all feel free to let us know what state y'all's hailing from, too. That's all gravy. Tanya Zion in the building. Welcome, my good sister and member. I appreciate you. Let me see if I got this picture in here. Bear with me 1 second. I do. There it is. Let's just check out LaFonza's Martin Luther King dedication post. The work of freedom for which Dr. King gave his life is not finished. We owe it to his legacy and those who paid the heaviest price to continue this mission until it's realized in making the world a fair place for all. Family. What the hell is she talking about? Derek Parker from Little Rock, Arkansas. All right. Shout out to you. I got plenty of family from in Arkansas. In and from. Subsequently, a lot with that particular last name, but I do not believe this woman's kin to me. Yeah, don't tell me she's from Arkansas. Please don't. Yeah, that's the news I would rather not hear. Yeah, she ain't from Arkansas, is she? Lord. But you understand how empty that is? How empty and generic this is. You know, I mean, she's really literally saying nothing. The work of freedom for which Dr. King gave his life is not finished. We owe it to his legacy and those who paid the heaviest price to continue this mission. Man, what is she talking about? You talking about cross burning and lynching and, well, I mean, I guess there wasn't as much. They was just shooting by the time Dr. King came around. Rest in peace, Medgar Evers. I mean, so what are we talking about here? A fair place for all? What is she talking about? What on earth is she talking about? Lord. So again, now, so it should kind of make sense when you start seeing these type of posts in history, and mind you, when was this? This was this year. This was this year. And here she is now. You know, my girlfriend, Rosaria Dawson. You know, we're both single, and that's my girlfriend. I'm not sure what I just said, but vote for me because I'm Cory Booker and Rosaria Dawson's my girlfriend. He was just in the campaign to be in the campaign. They were like, hey, we need some black male attention over here. So let's get you to run to go ahead and try to get some attention over here. Then we'll just throw, get your booties to the poll, Adam. And that'll work. Now, what Judge Joe Brown happened to say about that "Get Your Booties to the Pole" ad is that one of those dancers was not necessarily born a woman, in the most PC way I could put it. So, yeah, there was that too. It's like, what were you really pushing? It's like they was, we can knock out two birds with one stone. And they do. Speaking of knocking out two birds with one stone, the Democrats are in trouble. And when the Democrats are in trouble, they do desperate things. Now, one of the desperate things is using Black women as tools. Now, there was this video. Let me just refresh your memory. Because this week is interesting. Just between Wednesday and today, when we say white supremacy breaks its tools, oh boy, they'll do a heat check too. If they just kind of like, we got to just kind of let you know. Fam. Sexy Red. Now, I'm sure by now all of you have seen it. Y'all have seen this super raunchy mouthed rapper. Even if you were scrolling down your timeline on Twitter, you are seeing Sexy Red in all of her butt naked glory getting bust out. And can't help but notice it was less than 36 hours after this drop.
Do you think more people are going to support Trump now in the hood
like
or
Trump.
no?
Yeah, they support him in the hood. Because at first, I don't think people was fucking with him like they thought he was racist, saying little shit and, against women. But once he started getting Black people out of jail and giving people their free money, oh, baby, we love Trump. We need him back in office.
Yeah, a little bit of free money goes a long way.
We need him back. Because, baby, them checks. Oh, yes, them stimulus checks. Trump, we miss you.
That's like Whoa Vicky. She's always talking about Trump. You see her ever?
I like Trump. No, I ain't never seen Whoa Vicky.
She's funny.
I love Trump, though. He funny to me. Like, I used to watch his not interviews, like him talking to people. He used to be calling people fat.
Yeah.
He just bold.
Wow.
He funny. Like, we need people like him.
Well,
that last line might have got her in trouble as well. We need people like him. And already, all of the world from here to Timbuktu, to the people that are selling things underneath the Eiffel Tower, have all now been able to see all the things that the good Lord gave her. Now, some will say that she leaked the tape. Maybe. Just can't deny the timing. Yes. Can't deny the timing's a little suspicious. Now, what people have been talking about, the other conversation about Sexy Red and Suki Hana, is Miss D at Sweet 201. Hey, I see you in the building. Thank you for being here. Happy Friday. People are saying these people are plants. industry, like D. Foster just said, industry plant through and through. And I would have to agree. And we also have Yo 103, Queen in the building. Shout out to you. Philly in the building. Welcome. Shout out Philly. Need to come out there for a food tour on the strength of that. Come out there and see what the food pop like. Y'all got. Yeah, I've been paying attention what's out there in the world. Philly, yeah, y'all got some things cracking. That ain't just like Geno's and this and that. No, y'all got some speed odds. So, dark skinned brother said, they out of time. So basically, the Dems are saying we give up on you ninjas. We want to flood the country and bring in new enemies for you ninjas and try to replace you is not going to work for the the Republicans too. Absolutely. And here's the thing: we keep clearly saying, is Sukihana Nigerian? I don't know. I mean, I've heard her say that. She said it on numerous occasions. So we'll just take her word for it, and that's Nigerian culture coming out of her. So we'll just take her at her word. She says she's Nigerian. She Nigerian. Ain't our issue. But we keep saying about these industry plants and, these people that, see, why do you think that they were making them such a thing? Oh, here's the other thing that y'all might not have known either. There's a rapper out of Compton, I believe, female rapper out of Compton. Now, out of nowhere, she has a diss record. Dissing all of them. Dissing Sexy Red, Sukihana. It's like, wow, this is pretty interesting. It's a diss freestyle. Really? And now all of a sudden it's breaking. I'm sure that this just wasn't written over last night, but now you're allowing it to break in the rotation. Because see, trust me, the system understands how to hold records back. They know how to hold videos and all of that back. They know how to hold exposure back very well. So when you seeing something break through like that, oh, okay. Either somebody was asleep at the monitoring station, or they wanted it seen. And so I can't help but notice that this girl takes on all of the raunch rap, all the female raunch rappers. And truth be told, she can get them all. I mean, and she does. She walks through them all. And them chicks would never be able to see her in a million years. But here's the point. For female rappers who actually have bars, they're not being looked at for anything because of this trash. Now, I will say, if Meg Thee Stallion possibly could give her a run for her money. But, no. Maybe on the song side of the game, maybe. But as far as bars and being able to just do it, this chick got it. So there's a whole chick coming out of LA going in raunch rappers. I just can't help but notice the timing. When you start seeing things like this, it is not by accident. So here's the other point. Also coming out of California, here's this.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
See, they're trying to build a solid agenda. Because, again, in game.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
They got to get her over the hump. Because, see, what you need to do is push this black, and it was so, understand, with Sukihana and Sexy Red, they're trying to make a voter base out of whores. And so all the females, they'd be like, hey, I don't really give a damn about voting, none of that, blah, blah, blah. I mean, because that whole get your booties to the poll thing, strippers are really sitting up in the dressing room talking about voting. I ain't saying that them conversations can't take place in an establishment to where you are selling your monkey for display. I mean, if you were here in Portland, Oregon, yeah, because I'm in a butt naked state. So I don't know how y'all is. They might have to still wear clothes where y'all from. Not here. Not that that's any benefit to anybody that does not prefer to see what they put on stage. I mean, hey, to each his own. But when her legs are as thin as her heels, Lord. I said to each his own. Anyway, in game, trying to get Kamala over the hump. So you have to get Biden another term so they could stop the whole weekend at Bernie's facade. And then he'll follow Dianne Feinstein. Oh, wow. Oh, it's a day of mourning. And we're going to be getting the first Asian, Black, Jamaican, Hindu, Krishna, Vishnu. She going to be representing everybody. Good Lord. I'm just saying. Facts, Mr. Power Tools. Oh man. But so like I said, in the empty symbolics of it all, they had the opportunity to put another Black woman there. What's so cold is though, and she's already part of the Black caucus. They're trying to get her in the mix, right? This woman here is sister girls with Kamala Harris. I mean, she is long-standing. So for those of you who don't understand the picture under Shea Pierre, so that really odd-looking picture with her and Shea Pierre right here, the one right beneath it, I believe it's what is it, the chick in the red or the one in the blue hat? I think it's blue. Ain't that Maya? So for those of you who don't know, so this woman hangs out. This woman is buddies and chums and pals with Kamala Harris, so tough that she's over here hanging with her sister. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, she over there hanging with the fam. So when you see it turn out this way. And so I think what happened was my man in the middle here was Stephen Horford. He's the head of the head of the NAACP, and he's out of Arizona. So he's from out west, out here. And so he was actually, he proposed that they elect Barbara Lee, which is the woman not holding the little certificate there in the front. So that's who they wanted. And, I've played Barbara Lee before. I mean, she's an absolute treasonous POS, but because, she's also gung-ho for the Caribbean caucus. Because they be hanging around. So here's a whole nother thing. I guess if I was the Virgin, or if I was Puerto Rico, I'd be asking some questions about the Virgin Islands. Like, how the hell they got a whole representative in the Black caucus and we ain't got nobody? I mean, but hey, truth be told, Puerto Rico, is there a Puerto Rican representative in the Hispanic caucus? I mean, maybe there is, and I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, y'all should kind of be, that don't bother y'all? Because the Virgin Islands over there getting that representation in Washington. That woman speak and she gets on the floor, people know who she is. Because I thought, when I see, because we say VI, like VI, I know VA, that's Virginia. Like, where's VI? That's not Vermont. Like, oh, Virgin Islands. Oh man. You know, and here's something else y'all don't know. Well, some of y'all don't. But for those, and I wish Kid Gravity was here, he could attest to this. Them people in the Virgin Islands do not like Haitians. They do not want Haitians in the Virgin Islands. They don't like that shit. They do not like that at all, boy. So all this, you guys are divisive. What, are you kidding? You think they get along down there in that Caribbean? You out your mind, man. No, the hell they do not all get it. There is no just, oh, we all Caribbean. No, that happens when you're partying. But you better know. No, they have some major differences. And not only that, I believe it's in the Bahamas or the Bahamas or the Virgin Islands, one of the two, they actually deporting Haitians. Like, yeah, they got to get out of here. All of that, look for a better life. You're going to take that somewhere else. So, I mean, it's, you know, and they're, oh, you guys spreading division. I cut it out. Dominique Devereaux in the building. Welcome. See, I'm Billy, in my Billy Ocean voice, Curvy Queen. And for black folks, she ain't doing a thing. She's made it clear she ain't us. But for president, she's going to run the White House for. Yeah, you already know. Hey, you had some bars there, brother. Oh, my goodness. Tia to you. Yes, they are. Absolutely are. And Dark-skinned brother said the black civil rights leaders, well, so-called black civil rights leaders, Al Sharpton for white supremacy. Don't do nothing for white Foundation of Black Americans, but do for everything else. Well, here's the thing. Remember when I showed y'all how he over there at this funeral for I believe it was the sister that was unalived in Jacksonville by the racial anti-black ambush, and he got Jonathan Greenblatt sitting on the front. It's like, oh my Lord, let me be careful what I'm saying here. You are bringing somebody around that you, number one, you probably shouldn't. And you're trying to put him in position to act as if he speaks for our community's interests. And there's nothing that he has ever done that has represented that intent. So it's very interesting that the people who think they could go label everything around the world wants to come into our house of worship nonetheless. And sit up there and be like, yes, y'all look at me and welcome me with open arms. And here's Reverend Al gonna make sure that it's okay. Isn't that right, Reverend? Yes, sir, boss. Yeah, that's what we gonna do. See, I don't make no trouble. Because I see how y'all checked Oprah, so I don't want to get no trouble. Lord. And again, We just got to go through these photos, family, because it's been a minute. So here are your black leaders who will sit in a room and just so happy to be there because President Joe Biden is there. And while being in front of all of these black folks, has the nerve to call LL Cool J a boy. You are in a room full of black folks who fully understand the implication of an old white man saying, boy. Oh, I tell you, that man, yeah. See, it was just too easy to come out. Way too easy. Well, I tell you. Oh, Lord, Reverend. Reverend now. Yikes. Where's that at the picture? Oh, okay. And see, so we all understand what type of time these people are on. And see, we also got to touch on this part too. The Karen Bass energy that is in our midst, which also goes in line with the I'm black and other. Well, no, she's just LG. Right, family? If she had her way, she would not be the first open or black. She would just be the first open lesbian, and she'd be good with that. Don't ever think that she wouldn't. She'd be perfectly fine with, oh, well, this because she's not finna sit up here and tell you it's about how little black girls will need to see a representation of themselves. She might throw the line out there, but there's nothing in this woman's history that would ever reflect that she gave a damn about little black girls to begin with, other than making sure that they met their end in a Planned Parenthood office. That's the extent of her concern for the black community. Margaret Sanger. You got Margaret Sanger in blackface. That is who this woman is. So I hope you are understanding why they went and got this nut. I mean, this woman. Because this woman is, just go to her Twitter page and all you will see is abortion. Which, for those who don't like the harsh reality of what that is death. Either way you slice it. You are bringing life to an end. And then we'll turn around and ask, why is there so much killing and all this gun violence? Ladies, can we keep it a buck? Some of y'all got more bodies on you than these gangsters on the corner. There's plenty of souls in heaven, or whatever you believe, but they ain't on this earth no more. So, oh, I got a gun and I'm going to do this. What? But we got to make sure that she's doing this. No, let's just keep everything relative. If I got an AR-15, then what the hell is the difference of me and my AR-15 and Planned Parenthood? The aim is the same, ain't it? We got a gun epidemic. Let me tell you about that gun epidemic talk. We ain't got no gun epidemic at all. We had this epidemic, that epidemic, but poverty ain't never been answered. So once again, we are at the throes of what? The conversation of reparations. Because to ending violence, because violence is becoming from stemming from poverty, well, then there's your answer. Oh, wow, this debt has never been paid. All of this trouble over here could probably make a big change and significant change if we righted this wrong. But no, let's not right the wrong. Let's instead tell everybody how all of this ill-gotten gain from the world off of their families' free labor, which are nothing but murder victims. These are generations of murder victims. When don't you see restitution making sense? And those of us who our ancestors are just, we're 4 generations removed from you having the paperwork that we were owned. So what the hell are you talking about? Oh, I ain't none of my ancestors. I'm less than 7 generations removed. Tell me what you can't find. Get us our money. Now, this is where y'all need to be at, because people have come in and they started getting into this conversation about, well, you're not really old something. What are you talking about? At least your grandma's grandma was a slave. Some of y'all, absolutely. Some of y'all my grandma's grandma was a slave. My grandma just turned 100. On Bay Day, they share the same birthday. She shared the same birthday as Beyonce. Turned a bill. Don't tell me, 100 years, we don't know our history in this country? The hell out of here. Yeah, you can't possibly figure out. You what? My grandma is 100 years old. Where was her grandmother born? Let these people tell you what you ain't know. Yes, the hell you are. And it ain't that hard to figure out, because if we, again, man, that's so long ago. No, it ain't. My grandma 100. We're talking about the 1870 census. Her mother was alive then. What are you talking about? I'm just giving you the time frame in which people, like, how they try to sell you on this idea. Man, there ain't no way we can figure it. Yes, it is. My grandma living, some of y'all's are still living. Some of these folks are over 100 years old. Don't let these folks tell you that we don't know what's what. They trying to wait us out to our generation die off, because we still had our grandparents who was 2 generations removed from a plantation. So you can't sell us that bill of goods that we that far away. Hell no, we not. No. So yeah, we know the score, baby. Yeah. And see, that's the whole thing. That's their problem. We are well aware of the score, and we know it's old. We can see it. We watching everybody shining in it. Can't tell us that we are not due. Yes, we are. And hell, let that be the chant for the 2024 election. Yes, we are. Let that be the slogan. Yeah, yes, we are. You guys are due reparations. Yes, we are. Man, well, you never gonna get it. Yeah, and I'm sure that they thought that America at one point would never get from under the British government. But now the rest is history. So now let's make history again. Can you dig it? But you can't be afraid. That's one thing you can't be. You have to be willing to do what's necessary. You know what I'm saying? Derek Parker said, my grandma was 80 and she still remember working on them fields when she was young. And they can miss me with that. Miss us with that. For real. For real. I mean, because some of them folks, they were still picking cotton. So, I mean, the way that they try to get out there, there's nobody that knows. Shut up. David Boyd in the house was going, oh, my brother, good to see you, man. Yes, indeed. Caught alive. I know y'all, a lot of y'all be on the replay crew, so I appreciate it. Man. Yeah, so just understand they're going to be trying to position themselves. They are going very heavy because we by stressing the lineage, and shout out to all of you all around the United States who especially who have made such an impression upon the California situation. Well, that's why all of these other things are now, it's all starting to trickle out, and everybody's starting to have these conversations about reparations. At the same time, you have this government that's flooding illegals in here. But to double back to our good sister girl here, LaFonza Butler, look at that Emily's List president thing. Now, they have had their certain groups of candidates that they have endorsed. These are candidates that Emily's List have made sure they got in prime positions. Let's just start from left in the top. Governor Janet Mills. Next to her would be Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Not to be confused with Moore, although she is from Detroit. Next to her, Governor Kathy Hochul of New York. Go freaking figure. Now, just thus far, by the names that I've gotten through, they all tend to have something in common. All of those governors have open border policies for the illegal invaders, and they are also pushing certain agendas that some people would argue target children. But nonetheless, let's keep going. Governor-elect Maura Healey. And of course, oh, these are elect. Okay, so well, she had already won, so she's governor now. That this is official. Next is the governor right here in my state, which this was a close race. And for those who don't know, she had a very strong Republican opponent who probably should have won. And I believe probably realistically did win. But understanding the state we're in, which is unfortunately part of the reason why the eastern half of the state wants to combine with Idaho, because Democratic politics is the state, even if it ain't. So, Governor Tina Kotek, I believe, well, she came from under our first governor who was in there by default, just like how they're trying to get Kamala Harris into the presidency seat by default. And just how this black woman, this stud, almost got, or she got into Feinstein's seat by default. So again, man, these type of things happen. So our last governor, which was Kate Brown, which absolute trash. And so she was the first openly bisexual governor of the state. And so Governor Tina Kotek is clearly the first stud governor of the state. And yeah, there's that. Next, Governor Laura Kelly and Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham. And last, Governor Katie Hobbs. Emily's List was going after governorships. You got 8 governors over I guess when you're talking in the lane of like the electoral college type of talk, this is where this stuff starts becoming relative. But notice how your political pundit people aren't really paying any attention to that. But they're very well aware of Emily's list. So I'm just curious to know how many people, when they start asking these questions about how did this woman get here? Who is this woman? Well, you might want to thank her for your governor if you are from one of these states. So she's not no Rudy Poo. She's a political strategist. That's literally one of her titles. You want a political strategist, and then you're going to put her in a Senate seat. A Senate seat is not, would not, what does a political strategist need with a Senate seat? Unless it's political strategy within itself for her to be in that seat. I don't look for what's happening today. I look for what's going on tomorrow. So from yesterday to the preliminaries, because I mean, she's there with Oprah. Are you understanding? Like, this is not no lightweight money we're talking about. And Emily's list is only about women. And we know what women means. This is what women mean. They will identify you by name, Black women. So needless to say, Kamala Harris, who you already known has been groomed up in family. I just want you to, what does this picture say to you? What does this picture say to you? So for those of you who are probably just like, who is she and how did she get here? Why'd they pick her? The fact that she is not new. And when I say she's not new, I mean she's not new. This is an older picture. Three years ago today, Kamala Harris made history, becoming Joe Biden's running mate, the first Black woman and the first woman of South Asian descent to join a major party ticket. Let me tell you a bit about the VP I know and I know an inspiration and a fearless fighter for our freedoms. Because when she was a little girl and her mom took her to the protest, she was like, "Give me freedom." Oh Lord, this is brutal. So, like I'm just saying, you understand there was prior relationships I don't know. Like some pictures that we have kind of recently seen on the internet where we'll be like, damn, that's kind of like different type of energy there. When you see a married couple and the energy is like kind of like, hey, that's my bud. that type of thing. But this is a little different. For all of my energy readers out there, I'm just wondering what does this give off? And then they're making sure they're supporting Emily's list. And look at what's right next to Emily's list: Planned Parenthood. Gotta make sure we get you little Negroes out the paint. That's right. Lord. But there is two people in this picture that just really look happy to be in close proximity with each other. I'm just saying. I mean, hey, man, what do I know? I mean, you just only sometimes just might see the woman kicking it with the vice president's sister. I mean, now that's normal routine stuff. I mean, isn't it? I mean, you're just so down that, you just hang with the fam. All right. We don't have to take our clothes off to have a good time. Let me stop before they strike me for that. For my members, do y'all know that they gave me a copyright strike for the song I sang in my members section? The Johnny Gill tune. They gave me, I got a straight copyright strike for that. It's like, I've never seen anybody cover a tune and get a copyright strike. What the hell is that? So that's new. I like, no, this is just us being good musicians. Anyway, Keith Prince has been a member for 8 months. Thank you, my sister, for being a member of this channel for 8 months. Peace, power, blessings, and protection be up on you and yours. I am much appreciative of you being part of this channel and being a member. Shout out to you. And Jackie Natty tell the true shame. The devil said, damn, bro. Yeah. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. Lord. Hey, all three. Yeah. Well, when the prayers go up, sometimes judgment comes down. Oh Lord. Okay, so let's move on. So again, that's the phone. The phone. Let me read that mug, man. How do you pronounce that name? LaFonza. Boy. So Senator Fonzie has been sworn in by the into the Black Caucus. So now I believe she is the 59th member of the Congressional Black Caucus that has been all primed and ready to do absolutely nothing for Black folks. They want to get Hakeem Jeffries some kind of position for whatever reason, but it really makes no sense. He wants to be House Speaker because now he's Majority Speaker. I guess they feel that would be a shot in the dark to get Black men to pay attention to the Democratic Party again by saying, wait, look at us. Man, this is historic. Don't you think this is important, brother? I mean, we got a brother being the Speaker of the House. Man, you see, now y'all are stuck on stupid if you can't understand what the Democrats are doing. No. And in the meantime, all the familiar faces that you are now just coming to, oh, wow, who's this person? Man, woo-wee, she's so sassy. Ooh, look at her. Boy, she's telling that man on Capitol Hill right now, ain't she? Just so you know, in family, there's a certain content creator that this Representative Jasmine Crockett, it's almost as if she's trying to channel a certain Black woman content creator's energy. I mean, I'm just waiting for her to come animated and get her hair out her face. I mean, them ain't curly braids, but I just like, it's almost like, you know how when people be like, okay, I see how something works, so let me kind of embody and embolden that energy, and then I'll present that to the people in my space. So now it makes so much more sense why we seeing her going off just a few days ago, what they say, passionate plantation politics. I think that's Tariq's broadcast, because he hit on this a little bit. It's Representative Jasmine Crockett, and they're trying to make her a thing all of a sudden. And this is not by accident. Because shoot, I mean, was that woman not in? You was probably waiting her to bang a gavel and tell you to talk black to me. I'm telling you, when you start, okay, remember back when hold on, wait a minute. I mean, I'm not just whistling Dixie here. I mean, I hope y'all following what I'm saying, man. I'm not just whistling Dixie. There's a method to the madness here. See, they are looking at what goes on in the Black grassroots, and then they try to mimic it. Y'all remember these guys, and why my man in the white suit? Like it's like both of these two dudes tried to channel Marcel at some point, like Marcel Dixon. Especially my man that's always, now you always see him in the white suit and the hat. He looked like Marcel's early campaign photos. It's like, oh yeah, you're really trying to sell that because you're trying to be like, oh yeah, we just some country folk too. And see, what we need to do, we stand up for the Black folks in the Black community over here too. See, so it ain't just South Carolina. I mean, we got young Black folks over here. And so that's why they were trying to big these dudes up. So understand the timing of it all. Now just notice when this was going on, this is April. Here is LaFonza Butler, VP, traveling to stand with the Tennessee 3, is another example of how she continues to show up. Leadership matters. That woman didn't do shit. Now, on top of that, though, leadership matters. Where the hell is Joe Biden? And what was there to show up for? Nothing had happened to these people. They weren't victims of anything. They got fired. They got ousted by their peers. They were literally, legitimately voted out by their peers. They were like railroaded and sent to prison or having these charges from before I was born. Like this new case that's coming up against Bill Cosby, which is from 1972. What was that, 51 years old? Almost 52. What are you kidding? Yeah, I think maybe it was the LSD, but I think I remember Bill forcing himself on me. Oh, yeah, and he made me put something in my drink. Oh, wait, I mean, he gave me a pill. We did some drugs, and, we did this about 3 or 4, 5 times. I'm a victim. Oh, 5 times? No, 5 different occasions. Okay, let's go to court with this. We're going to get him. And they just, I mean, all of this stuff keep coming up against Bill Cosby. 1972. You kidding? All the drugs that y'all asses was on back then, you can't tell me that you remember anything from 1972. Hell. Half of y'all can't remember y'all children's birth from that age. What was y'all doing? But nonetheless, back. So again, LaFonza Butler and Jasmine Crockett. This is early in the game too. By the way, this is not a recent thing. This is like, so because they're talking about this is the post Roe. So this is like right when they struck down Roe v. Wade. Jasmine Crockett was on the way. And now you're seeing both of these people on your TV screens this week. They're both getting interviewed left and right, aren't they? Mm-hmm. Make no mistake, it's not by accident. It's all by design, unfortunately. And what can you do other than watch it happen? Other things that are happening, see, they believe that we really give a crap about Donald Trump's trial. We don't. Cut the check. Yes, we know that, he's trying to end this democracy and yada, yada, yada. Okay, well, are white women's votes in jeopardy? No. Okay, well, then our votes aren't in jeopardy. Because voter rights are connected. So what are we doing? So we're talking this Trump situation. I think when it comes down to the black boule Democratic base, and I mean the people that they give positions and power to, it's always amazing to see the way that they conduct themselves because they don't yet know that these people ain't really rocking with them like that. So what they do is they'll go out on a limb and I'll get them, boss. I'm gonna get them. It might not necessarily look the best. So in this situation, what are we seeing when it comes down to Donald Trump? Why is it only black DAs who are doing this? What's the importance of that happening? Now, there's a multi-pronged problem. One, here's the benefit. It does the damage it was causing, or it was meant to do. Here's the problem. It also damages future black leadership because when people do stuff like this, now you can't be trusted. So that's a reflection also on those who may come behind this political pond with good intention, but now they'll have to answer for what people were doing when they knew, this is a little heavy. And this is like, because the thing that's going on in New York is civil. But it's getting as much attention as, actually it's getting more attention than Fani Willis's case, which is criminal. Doesn't really make much sense, but nonetheless, let's just check this out. So this is how and this is, my mind's eye would say, if a DA is talking, yeah, we're going to get him, and he's a threat to this, and he's a threat to, he's a problem, and anything that I could do to get him, I'm going to do. I just think that would be problematic in a winning conviction against the person to whom you just was going to get. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but it sure seems to me that this would be very helpful on appeal. Look at this.
Legitimate president when our fundamental rights are at stake. I believe that the president of these United States can be indicted for criminal offenses.
Will you sue him for us?
Oh, we're going to definitely sue him. We're going to be a real pain in the He's going to know my name personally.
That man in the White House who can't go a day without threatening our fundamental rights.
Yes, we need to focus on Donald Trump and his abuses. We need to follow his money. We need to find out where he's laundered money. We need to find out whether or not he's engaged in conspiracy. It's important that everyone understand that the days of Donald Trump are coming to an end.
I look forward to going into the office of Attorney General every day, suing him, defending your rights, and then going home.
This is why black folks should not run out there to go hop in these positions too fast and too quickly. Because you got to know how your enemy works. They'll just use you as a pawn and you are disposable. So all you have multiple video clips of you railing on how you're just going to get him. And we need to have an investigation. Well, as it turns out that the FBI knew all about Joe and Hunter Biden's business dealings. Wow, laptop authenticity and did nothing. So it makes all of this against them, oh, we're going to get Trump. This does not look good. It looks very one-sided. It looks very witch hunty. And at the end of the day, black folks ain't got shit to do with none of it. It's a big waste of time, big waste of money, and the only thing that black people are getting out of this is harm in the public view by having this black woman sitting out here putting these charges on this dude that can't hold water to nothing. And then on top, because you've already sat up here and shot yourself in the foot with thousands of different video clips of you saying how you're going to get the man. Would this not ever look like malicious prosecution? Then how does that start playing out in the future for anything like this? The overzealousness of the black Biden sexual is outrageous. And they are kamikaze crash test dummies, even at the elected official level. And you have to be willing to accept that part. Like there was somebody in my comments about talking about what we don't have as black folks. Matter of fact, wait a minute, let me go read that. And I see my sister Miriam in the building. Welcome, my good sister. I see you in the house. And I see In the Mix Radio in the house. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Let me go to this comment real quick. Hold on, family. I need to get this. Because I when I hear people say stuff like this, or I read people say things like this, it rubs me in a manner that it's like that's kind of a cowardly position, or you're not aware of where Black folks are today. See, right here, as we are active in a movement, Black folks are asking questions as if they expect to see civil rights history while making history in the moment. So it's always about, man, why ain't we doing this? Man, why ain't we doing that? No, the only question to yourself is the person in the mirror. Why aren't you? Because there's plenty of us out here talking. Who are you promoting? Who are you supporting? Who are you speaking up for? Why aren't you doing anything? Why aren't you standing with someone? So let me read this. This is from a comment in the thread from my last broadcast, by the way. Black Americans are not organized to defend themselves. All other ethnic groups in this nation have a representative national Congress to represent them, to address their issues, and to promote their commerce. We are the only group that has been manipulated out of self-organization and self-governance. Now, let me backtrack on what you actually just said. All of those other people have representation in Congress. If the parties that they are in Congress with wanted them to do something against their community, then they would be in the same predicament that our Congressional Black Caucus has us in. So to sit up here and say we have nothing, there's an entire Black Caucus. So the fact that you ignore that truth lets me know, okay, you're one of those to try to say it's Black people's fault, not the Black people in leadership's fault. See, everywhere else, if y'all heard the whole conversations over the past year from the Tethers, what were they saying? Tariq made a video and song, a little jingle about it. It's the government. The government. It's the government. It's the government. But when it comes to us, it's y'all niggas. It's y'all. Man, we've got to do better. Man, over here, it ain't no talking to government when they talking to us, huh? None. And we're the legitimately only group that had laws put on the books in America against us. But it's never the government when it comes to us, though. Man, we got to do for ourselves. Why ain't we just putting ourselves up by our bootstraps? I just don't understand all this. Nonsense blaming the white man. The white man ain't did nothing to you. I mean, ain't no white man around here for us. We can't protect ourselves. So what we done did is we done got all the ways away from protecting ourselves. Like all of these other anti-Black racial massacres that have happened and burned down cities and Black commerce in the history of America. No, this country has a history of it. Then they have government that runs freeways and puts stadiums in Black areas that they couldn't actually burn up and destroy. So they got them that way, by way of policy. We need to set up a representative Congress in each state that would send representatives to the National Congress. Boy, that kind of sounds like something, what would we call that? Oh, I know. Let's call it the Congressional Black Caucus. That sounds about like what you're talking about, huh? We need to get them. I would have to agree. If we had a Congressional Black Caucus going up into Congress and state levels and NAACPs, and I mean, I just showed you some people introducing a 59th member of the Congressional Black Caucus, but I guess there is no Black Caucus representing Black folks. That we can both agree on. But to simply say that it's our fault that we don't have our representation, there is a Black Caucus in Washington. So if they need Democratic votes, don't you think that Black Caucus need to be talking to Black voters, doing things for Black voters, representing Black voters? What you are just implying, sir, is going back to Reconstruction. But perhaps you are new to this channel and have missed the other video to which I used to play at the beginning, which is a video from my brother Marcel Dixon, Greg Marcel Dixon, that is, who also mentioned right after slavery, during Reconstruction, Black men ran for office. And there were more Black men, senators, and congressmen after slavery than right now. How did that happen? By way of law. So when you're talking all of this, I wonder, have you taken into account all of the parts and pieces and wheels spinning here at play? Or was this just a, I wish that we would just do better speech, which is fine for the simple, but that is not where you are at when you are talking in this communication here. We got sense over here and we know better over here. So this type of talk, I'm wondering, like, well, what are you getting at? Nonetheless, let me go on. Virtually every group with a Congress is ahead of us. It's the reason they get things done, while we just have talking heads. And there's the insult to Black people. So you haven't committed yourself to nothing. You haven't committed yourself to making sure Black folks get a chance to do something different. But now, instead of you actually doing something, you project and say, we only have talking heads. That's not what the Congressional Black Caucus is. The Congressional Black Caucus is active agents against Black empowerment. That's an action, and they take it every day. And they're doing it for the system. And they want us to vote for that same system. And we're going to have to start just simply saying, kiss her ass. Simple as that. Now, here, just to let you know how dirty, well, now they letting cameras off up in the Trump trial and whatnot. It's like, really? And here's something else y'all may not know. One of the charges that they held back from literally charging, well, actually, I believe he is charged with it. They just don't make no noise about it. But one of the charges Hunter Biden is facing is literally the Mann Act. And the FBI had proof of him being guilty of that. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the Mann Act, that's actually how R. Kelly got his RICO charge. But somehow now all of a sudden we're going to be, man, but that ain't Joe Biden. That's Joe Biden's son. Tell yourself that lie if you want to. You tell yourself that lie if you want to. But in the meantime, we most definitely know better. And in the sense of knowing better, we have to be able to recognize the ops that go unnoticed. And there was something that came out in the midst of all of this They try to sneak it in there because, see, when you have to tell the truth about what happens to black people in America, because again, there was when people find out the truth, and because they stood up here and tell themselves all of these lies that, well, black people are always saying this bad, and black people saying this a problem. It ain't no thing. I don't see this happening nowhere. No, I mean, this ain't no such thing that ever taken place ever in earth. I mean, black men, all the races, ain't nobody living. I bet you had none happening. Ain't no racism. Like that fool from Nigeria I played a couple days ago. And I absolutely say, fool. Stone cold fool. With that being said, the white supremacy is so deep that when white Hispanics went to go looking for the numbers of how they fare out, because this study has nothing to do with us, but to make their study hold water and hold weight, they had to bring the truth along with it. And the truth of the matter is, black was at the head of the conversation, even when they weren't even looking for it. So, let's see who we have. I see some folks that done came in here. I'm going to see y'all. I see Numat Ray in the house. What's going on? What's going on? I see Kerman S. Wingfield in the building. Yes, indeed. Them can keep Trump or can't keep Trump out their mouths. If President Biden was doing good, get what he's doing across. Right. The Trump situation would take care of itself if it's so bad. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Reginald Jeter in the house. I see in the house. What's going on, my brother? What is happening? All right. And In the Mix Radio said, Joe got to go. Oh, yeah. And they got Sonny listed on that Man Act too. Yeah. And that was all for, what was it, Joe Johnson? So, understand, man. These people are, or Jack Johnson. Jack Johnson. You talking about long-term anti-black hatred coming from certain groups. Oh, he's with the blacks. F him, he's with the blacks. Yeah, okay. Well, when you had to try to look at the disparities for the brown people and he's with the black, you had to find out that, oh, we need the blacks. Oh, we look crazy. We need the blacks now. Hey, black and brown, 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 black and brown. Back in town, black and brown. Back in town. Aye. Oh, let me stop. My worst Mexican impression, like Carlos Mencia. Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching the Weekly Wrap-Up.
Tick faster. That'll be the hour they knock the slick blaster. Dick dastardly, a monthly with sick laughter. A gunfight and they come to cut the mix master. And living the true gods. Giving y'all nothing but the lick like two broads. Got more lyrics than the church got ooh lords. And they hold the mic at your attention like two swords. Or you the one with two blades on it. Hey you, don't touch the mic like it's AIDS on it.
So, last but not least, we have to address what I was talking about. And here's the OPB piece that we are going to examine, because there's some things about this I found interesting. When I seen the headline, I'm like, whoa, 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 wait a minute. Oh, wait, hold on. Wait a minute. Wait. Is there something else here? Oh, yeah. Oh, there is most definitely something we got to get to first. Hold on. It plays in perfectly, too. Ooh-wee. So, as y'all know, we have been catching hell trying to have our agenda heard. And in these different sanctuary cities and whatnot, you got these so-called black leaders selling black folks up the river, right? And get that ad off this. Okay. Come on now. That's what I want. Okay. So in Chicago, we got folks that are just fed up, and they're confronting these people about this open border policy to just allow invaders to come out over here. And, as we see that you're trying to create another voter base against black empowerment. That's all it's about. It ain't about helping these folks. And not to mention this, you're talking about these problems that really start stemming back to Obama and some of the sanctions that they have held. So all of that, like Hillary Clinton and all of that, these are some problems that now the fallout is coming to America. And yeah, they knew what they were doing. You squeeze them out there so you can force people here. Very amazing that they had mandatory somethings just a couple years ago, and now the streets are filled with zombified dope addicts. Anyway, let's hear what's going on in Chicago.
I got you.
It is actually kind of follows exactly what you're saying.
All right.
The poll that came out this week, polling people across the city along racial lines on whether Chicago should continue being a sanctuary city. Majority of people, voters said no. And the highest among those were among Latinos and blacks. And one of the reasons why is because of resources. So are you concerned that you are losing, voters on this? As this crisis continues,
Thank you for the question. This is not about votes. This is the problem here. If people think that my job is solely based on how I can get the next vote, we'll get to that in the next 3 years. But I got you. Hold on a second.
Negro, please. You wouldn't be there if it wasn't for about votes. What the hell are you talking about? Of course it is. This isn't about votes. Oh, see here, Democrats. This message is for you. The whole sassy insult people's intelligent thing is over with. Moment when you go into this spiel, you're done. This is what keeps killing you. I see y'all keep trying to come at timelines and conversations, telling y'all this is the line of death. And y'all can't help yourself. It be so bad. My PhD tell me this. Okay. Watch your votes walk on out the door. And don't act like somebody harming your party. You are. You were hearing people tell you these tactics will not work. You were seeing people show you that these tactics will not work. But yet, here we go. Let's hear the sassy Democrat.
I just want to make sure that I don't want people to believe that the political decisions that the right wing in this country is making is going to force me to make a decision that will go against our values because I'm thinking about votes.
That woman said black and Latino voters. And you immediately were there. If you won't up, he didn't say Donald Trump. He went and he said they're starting to do this already. the MAGA. So if you want this, I mean, sir, she asked you about the opinions of the Black and Latino constituents of your district. Well, I mean, you think I'm going to sit up here and be bullied by a bunch of white right-wing Republicans? I mean, like, it's almost as if, well, see, that's the other trick. He did a Joe Biden on y'all. So Joe Biden, a lot of the conversation has been around reparations for slavery. What do you think about that? Well, immigrants built this country, and we owe immigrants a lot. Fast forward to now, man. I mean, wait, you want me to think it's about votes? It's about votes? We got right-wing Republicans. Sir, she asked you about the Black and Latino community that is being affected up close and personal in their own neighborhoods and communities with this crisis. And you said it wasn't political, but it's about the people. Those were, see how you trap people up in these conversations nowadays because they're so stuck on the Democratic line that they cannot waver. It's almost like these people are under a spell. Because you should have heard the question she asked you about people. The two groups that she just mentioned in that community are furthest from right wing. So you're going to talk all of a sudden this Democratic district that had Joe Biden's back, by the way, got your black ass in office. But I'm not going to be pushed around for votes. Stop it. What is all my Chicagoans? Is there some kind of huge black Republican contingency and major black mega crowd out there in Chicago? I'm confused. What the hell is he talking about?
Here's what I'm most concerned about. Our constituents and residents of the city of Chicago. I got it.
No, obviously you don't, because that's who she asked you about in the first place. She never asked you about no right-wing people. She only asked you about the people.
My bigger concern is the fact that we have alt-right movement, not just in this country, but around the globe, that continues to disrupt black and brown economies. Can I just offer up some?
Wait, what? Oh, come on, dude. Wait. This conversation is about the ever-surging population of illegal invaders entering into Chicago. What the hell is he talking about? Boy, this dude. Now he's going into trying to create an entirely different conversation. Listen, no, I got you. See, I got you. Let me set up this lie. No, I got you. But I need you to stop so I can get this lie out right. Who did y'all put in office out there?
Context
Chicago?
real quick. There are leaders in many of these countries that come from the same movement and struggle that Jesse and Carlos come from.
What?
People, the story of Her Excellency, Vice President in Colombia, who is not that much different than Alderwoman Jeanette Taylor, who was pushing back against the government when they were coming into village, causing them to lead movements to actually ultimately transform this government. And then when they got into power, the very forces that they fought are now mad at them and destabilizing their economies.
Wrong, fella. No, sir, no, sir, no, sir. Those are United States sanctions on those areas because the people who became in power didn't like who was in power. So there's sanctions on those places. Don't let these coons lie to you like this. Okay, this dude is full of crap. And like for Venezuela, America's solely responsible for their situation. And that goes back to Obama, back when the president was still living at the time, came up on the podium after Barack Obama and said that he could still smell the stench of sulfur. Suddenly, within a year, he died from cancer. Go figure. Nothing to see here. Oh, this dude here.
Force this massive population shift. And so this is about elevating the consciousness of the entire globe. My bigger concern is to make sure that those
Negro, no, it is not. Those people ain't the globe is not your constituency, brother. The people in Chicago is. What you talking about?
Those families, I'm gonna speak directly to Black people, that I made a commitment to invest in the very communities that were disrupted by previous administrations, that have closed schools, that have closed mental health clinics, that have shut down public housing. Everything that I've done up to this point, while still handling this crisis, I have not stopped governing to make sure we're raising the wages, passing treatment, not trauma, bringing Chicago home. Apparently in the city of Chicago.
Did he not just say this wasn't about votes? And then turns into a complete campaign speech. Shameful, my brother. Shameful. Absolutely shameful.
But you have a mayor that can walk and chew gum. Thank you all.
Oh, God. Ooh, he did that. He did that, y'all. Oh, he did that. Oh, this is just, torturous. What is that? Like, y'all, all of a sudden now we got to have the amen corner by somebody all the time. Well, for the mayor of Chicago, you get Sambo.
Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez. As we turn to a shocking new report that estimates 35,000 people have been killed by law enforcement in the U.S. since the year 2000, and that the number of brown and Black people killed by police may be more than double the amount widely reported.
Now, again, I'm going to just let y'all know that they did not set out to find out the numbers for Black people. This was not done this way because there was some major concern for Black folks. They were trying to figure out what was going on with brown folk.
The DASA database project was founded by the late Roberto Rodriguez, also known as Dr. Sintley, who died in July. Rodriguez was associate professor of Mexican-American Studies at the University of Arizona, who himself survived a brutal police assault in 1979 when Los Angeles sheriff deputies beat him for taking pictures of them beating another man. He spent the rest of his life fighting police brutality and writing about Chicano culture. In 2021, he joined Democracy Now! To discuss how preliminary findings of the RASA database project's report showed deaths of Latinx and Indigenous people at the hands of police were undercounted by 1/4 to 1/3 in national databases and were virtually ignored by the media.
One of the things that we we asked ourselves as a group, should we count all deaths, in custody, etc.? And everybody said yes.
Hold on, it sounds kind of choppy. Can you hear me? Hopefully y'all can hear me well. It sounds like my mic, my sound sounds janky all of a sudden. What's going on? Hold on. Let me get this straight. What's going on here? Is my sound choppy, family? Because it sounds like I'm under water over here. Just does not sound right at all. So what I'm gonna do, I have to go out. I think it's choppy. Okay. Hold on. All right. I'm not connected, but I see myself. Oh, and there it is. All right. So let me So y'all probably can still hear me. All right. Hopefully, hold on, family. I'm having to make some maneuvers here, so bear with me. Bear with me. Oh, I gotta get in here. Yeah, they talk about black and brown. Black. It's black and brown, and so we have to worry about Latinx. And it's like I don't understand where the connection where y'all keep getting this connection. Okay, now that sounds a lot better. All right, okay, let's get back in here to the studio. Okay. All right. Hopefully you should hear me. Okay. Okay. It looks like we're back. Bye bye bye. Get this off the screen. Okay, so let me get this back in here. Because this is a very interesting piece, too. I mean, and I know it's Amy, it's OPB, it's Amy Goodman. You see who's getting their funding or where their funding comes from. So a lot of those names are on that list.
I'm Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez.
There we go.
As we turn to a shocking new report that estimates 35,000 people have been killed by law enforcement in the U.S. since the year 2000, and that the number of brown and black people killed by police may be more than double the amount widely reported. The RASA database project was founded by the late Roberto Rodriguez, also known as Dr. Sintley, who died in July. Rodriguez was Associate Professor of Mexican-American Studies at the University of Arizona, who himself survived a brutal police assault in 1979 when Los Angeles sheriff deputies beat him for taking pictures of them beating another man. He spent the rest of his life fighting police brutality and writing about Chicano culture. In 2021, he joined Democracy Now! To discuss how preliminary findings of the RASA database project's report show deaths of Latinx and indigenous people at the hands of police were undercounted by 1/4 to 1/3 in national databases.
So listen to what she's saying, because the wording of this is very good. She mentions, because if you look at where the article is and look at the video, black is the very first word. Now, when she starts talking about it, she says brown and black. But when she talks about the undercounting, she talks about Latinx and indigenous. So don't miss that.
Are virtually ignored by the media.
One of the things that we asked ourselves as a group, should we count all deaths, in custody, etc.? And everybody said yes. And now, personally, I wanted just the ones that are unjustified. But how do you determine what's unjustified when you don't have a judicial system that works? It's like I would say 99.9% impunity, both in the killings that we examine and also the Border Patrol. You can count in one hand with a finger or two to spare of police officers that are doing hard time, say 30, 40, 50 years to life. I doubt there's even 5. Personally, I think that's the actual solution. Until you see that, you're not going to see anything. No reform is going to fix anything, because all the cop has to say is, I feared for my life, and that absolves everything.
The late
You don't say, Juan. That's just what black folks have said since before probably majority of you were even in this country. And this is what we say today. We've had a whole George Floyd situation. But you guys meant to set out to go look at numbers that don't really affect us. So again, I just want y'all to see when they talk about these guys as being separate and this and that, blah, blah. Don't you know there's Afro-Latinos too? Yeah, we know there's Afro-Latinos, and see, that's how that dude tried to do y'all out there in Chicago. Gee, look at what they became this government in Colombia. Man, America is full of fleers. If it was popping in their country, they would be there. We don't have a crisis because they're not fleeing from getting it popping where they at. No, we're in a crisis because they all fled. So it's amazing. But nonetheless, here we are talking about police and police impunity and how they just have carte blanche to do whatever. So how can you say a killing is justified or not when they have no mechanism of punishment? And this directly comes from the grassroots of the black folks over here, because we're the only group talking about punished police. Now he's talking about, man, we need to see them doing some real hard time, like a Derek Chauvin. See where that's coming from? So again, you're piggybacking off of our movement, piggybacking off of our energy, and it got yourself funded a study to study your other groups, not us, but got all that money up off our back to go study something else.
Professor Roberto Sintley Rodriguez, fondly referred to as Dr. Sintley. For more on the formal release of the RASA database project, we're joined by its project manager, Yvette Sochiot Boizo, a mental health patient and civil and human rights advocate, and Jesus Garcia. More on the formal release of the RASA database project, we're joined by its project manager, Yvette Sochiot Boizo, a mental health patient and civil project. We're joined by its project manager, Yvette Sochiot Boizo, a mental health patient and civil and human rights advocate, and his.
Don't I tell you that these people that they typically get to speak in these areas often look like they have mental issues? And the very first claim to her name, now this could have been a faux pas, but I just wanted to make sure y'all heard it. And I'm not, this ain't no duh. I didn't do nothing to this. So her first claim to fame is she's a mental patient. She's not a clinician. She's going to the clinician. And here she is to talk about ethics.
Jesus Garcia, demographer, statistician on the project. We welcome you both to Democracy Now! Jesus, let's begin with you. Explain what you found.
Yes, Amy Juan, thank you very much for this opportunity to be here with you. So Roberto asked me to participate in this project on a volunteer basis, and he more or less, as you heard, knew what the subject matter was, but he wasn't able to, articulate the statistics. And so over the past 2 years, I've been looking at data from open source information, and what the results are that the Latino population, or people killed, Spanish surname, is at about 6,500 between the year 2000 and 2022. That's an over 2,000 increase from what some estimates say at about 4,500. Equally important here is the Asian population count. The Asian population count has gone from just about under 500 under old methodologies to over 2,000 deaths, a 75% increase. So our goal with this project was to not only address the missing information for Latinos, but overall, and see the impact on all our communities of color, all our disenfranchised people. And to tell you the truth, this has been a very difficult project to work on. Personally, this is not my forte, but Roberto asked me to participate in this project, and I think the results are pretty groundbreaking, and they're
Take a look on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. See, when we have these conversations, it's very, and people wonder why it feels disingenuous to us. Well, because we can read, and most of us can determine graphs and pie charts and simple basic numbers. Unadjusted death count. Latinos, because that's who they were primarily studying. 4,483. Asian Pacific Islanders, 497. For the abduction Asians, oh, we gotta stop all of this Asian hate. Oh, Lord, woe is me. Oh, the sky is falling. Let's see what it looks like when it comes to us. Oh, 7,451. Now they got a comma under the 4,000 up there with Latinos. Why did they leave out the comma when it came down to black folks? Reason I'll tell you, because this is their project and we were not the main people that they were looking for to study. But when you had to go get raw data, you had to make sure that you didn't make our number stick out, although it sticks out like a sore thumb. Then you have Native American. They're even less than the Asians. There's been an uptick in indigenous. Where? 332 whites, which of course would be the majority, so that makes total sense. 11,317. For those of you who say black folks don't know how to get along and there's so many of us killing each other, well, let me tell you, you would have heard about the black officers killing all of these white folk. So for those of you who have PhDs and can't seem to find your head out of your ass to stop talking about black on black crime, there you go. We can't compete with the rate that they'll knock each other off. And that's the dominant society. I would just really want to know what the importance of this identity politics of being the good Negro. I don't even know where that came from. Man, if we do this the right way, then they'll see us different. Look at how we got it in our music, y'all. We don't value ourselves. You bitch nigga, you have been in America as slaves for 500 years. How on earth can you sit up here and talk about black on black crime? Man, we do it to ourselves. Go, I can't advocate for self-harm neither, but Lordy made, do us all a favor, please. Look at those damn numbers, man. Man, we got it, man. We all worst enemy. Oh, hell no.
The beginning, not the end of this further discussions on this issue.
And Jesus Garcia, I wanted to ask you in terms of the
man, them numbers is a beast. Man, now watch what this dude gonna say, because the numbers ain't lying on the screen. He see what's on the screen. Watch what he's trying to spin.
And Jesus,
there we go. Look at those numbers. Look at those doggone numbers, man. And you can see it clearly. Latino ain't even close to us. Ain't even close. But, oh, man, now watch how this dude pivots.
Garcia, I wanted to ask you in terms of the increases in numbers, could you talk about what were the weaknesses of the previous counts, such as, for instance, the Washington Post's a big study that they did about police deaths. You found that there were a significant number of people who were listed as with no racial identity initially or as other, and that you were able to track down more clearly their ethnic or racial origin. Talk about that process.
Yes, absolutely. So first of all, there is no federal standard for collection of this information. There's no federal department at the Department of Justice or a Center for Disease Control or the like. So the task of collecting.
Why would there not be a task force for that? But you mean to tell me that the White House now has a gun prevention task force with no agenda, by the way, but they have the money and got funding for a gun prevention task force, but there is literally no policy in place to keep record of deaths? This is the system that Joe Biden said, we're not going to defund the police. We're going to fund the police. Now, let me take this picture with George Floyd's little girl. Woo-wee.
Data, as it is, has fallen on these open sources and in fact on individuals. So I'm talking about Fatal Encounters website, Mapping Police Violence, and obviously you've mentioned the Washington Post and The Guardian and others. But in the collection of this information, it's compiled by basically independent people. And I think this is a very good reason for having good independent media. Without a federal collection, independent media, independent sources are the ones that have compiled a list. So when you're doing...
Ooh, yikes. Did you hear him? Not the mainstream. No. Those who just say there's a problem and we are going to have to speak to that problem, even if we don't have mainstream backing. We are just going to independently share our voice. We're going to get the data. We're going to share the data. And now the data is proven to be true. So here's where you're starting to see those whole, oh, well, the FBI said this. Well, here's the real true numbers of reporting of the people. Come to find out, the FBI, where are you getting your stats from? Since there's no federal system whatsoever to even take hold of these stats, why? To me, that tells you that they have a system of killing with impunity. And not having that mechanism in place ensures that it will go it won't look as such an epidemic as it really truly is. That is sinister as hell. So don't let these people, we gotta respect these people. No, the hell you don't. These sadistic, savage ass killers, they know what they're doing and they know why they can get away with it. There's no federal guideline that's keeping them from whacking folks at hefty amounts. That's why this has been going on the way it's been going on. Mind you, again, we're not talking about gun deaths. We're talking about deaths by hands of the police. That is what this entire thing is about. Those stats that you see are not street violence. That is law enforcement taking lives like that. The law enforcement that Joe Biden wanted to make sure and still making sure that all of our communities are subject to being overly policed too. Thanks, Joe Biden. Are y'all still voting for him?
These sorts of crowdsources information, there's going to be gaps. And a big gap are things like the race, ethnicity of an individual. In many cases, there are no names, the location. And so there's a host of issues with the data. And so what I was able to do was to merge these different data sets into one. And then having worked at the U.S. Census Bureau, and because of my background, I was able to then try to assign missing race and race and ethnicity based on the U.S. Census Bureau's 160,000 surname list. And so, as I mentioned, it's taken 2 years to get to this point, but it's because of independent sources. I also need to thank the Cal State University and the technology tools. These things are not easy to do. It takes specialized skills, and we just have been able to assemble a team of people and technologies to get us to this point. So the data, I feel, are fairly accurate. There's, as I mentioned, there's much more to do, but I stand by the counts that we have. And so it's, again, they're terrible numbers to look at, but I think like anything else, it's a beginning of hopefully the healing of this very difficult time in our country here.
I wanted to bring...
In terms, yeah, I just wanted to ask Jesus Garcia, you also found a significant increase in the number of whites killed by police, didn't you, in your study?
Yes, the initial data.
Never forget that Mexicans see themselves as white. So you see the white Hispanic over there, he was very concerned about the white numbers. You see? Yeah, don't miss that.
Of over 33,000 deaths, included over 9,000 unknown or other. And so again, and included in that count was white ethnicity at about 11,300. Over the course of the new results, I was able to supplement that count by nearly 5,000 individuals. So the current count of people classified as white, non-Hispanic is over 16,000 people. They comprise 50% of the deaths. One thing that I have to note among the African American population is the African Americans in the population represent about 12% of the U.S. population. They are, however, 24% or a quarter of all of deaths. So,
and I will have your back. I have came up with the George Floyd policing bill. I am going to have the first White House police accountability team. Day when he got elected. I am going to leave the police accountability up to Congress. That's their job. This man, in his study, in his research, in his tie to the United States Census, while looking for unreported Hispanic deaths by way of police, you found out that he mentioned rising numbers for every other group. Black folks have consistently been at least a quarter of the deaths. But we gotta fund the police. Okay.
No matter what you may think out there politically, the data are clear that there is something happening that is greatly impacting our African American community. And, the results are stark and bare. So, yes, the white count did increase, but so did all the other counts for race, ethnicity.
I wanted to bring Sociote into this conversation, Yvette Boiseau, the project manager for the LASA database project. Two things. It's Hispanic Heritage Month and the significance of Roberto Rodriguez and all of his work. So sorry that we weren't also speaking to him today since he was going to bring us the final report, but we lost him in the last years. His significance, his imprint on this, but also in particular, Yvette Boiseau, if you could talk about the sexual violence against particularly migrant women.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. Absolutely. I think the report itself, the research that we've done is groundbreaking. It's revolutionary in itself. Unfortunately, it's only given police brutality that we can actually prove, and one of the only types of violences that we have data for. We don't have an actual account or any type of data when it comes to the violence against women, and especially when it comes to migrants, which is even more alarming because, as you know, there's forced sterilizations within the detention centers, women that have been forcefully sterilized as part of their probation terms in this country.
Yeah, that's actually definitely harmed Black women in this country long before you guys got a chance to invade the borders. So, I mean, it begs to say that everything you're mentioning, Black folks have experienced. There is nothing that you are talking about that Black folks haven't already experienced. And Black folks are legal citizens. So why are these Black people, so when they talk about illegals and migrants and all of that, okay, but they're not citizens. Why aren't Black citizens? How are Black citizens being treated worse than a person who is not a citizen of this country? And then to have a Black politician come to us and tell us how we need to be concerned about the globe, like that punk ass nigga just did in Chicago.
So when we look at the people being affected mostly by this type of genocidal practices, it's women of color. So if you...
Oh, boy. See, when you have to start telling the truth, that's when it starts getting vague. That's how you know Black women are at the head of that.
Ask me, under international law, these are crimes against humanity. This is a genocide. And it's so unfortunate that there's not any type of actual collection of information against these types of violences and crimes against humanity.
Right. So in turn, you would like for who to do something about that? Because see, here's where we need to pay attention to how they play this role. Now, understanding where this conversation lies. So I hope you all have figured out this whole situation. They're bringing out this story. This story was not supposed to center Black folks. But when you have to look at the truth of the numbers, you could not leave us out. Because had they would have done this story ignoring the truth of what's in there, once people got wind of this, it'd be like, oh, well, this would end horribly. So they had to give you they had to tell on themselves, basically. They were doing, and that, notice how the dude at the very beginning, the statistician, he's saying, yes, he asked me to come on as a volunteer. So he had to put it out there in the wind, like, hey, I wasn't paid to do this. I didn't take any money. And so then he come out talking about, man, African Americans, and here comes the white Hispanic. So can you tell me how that's affected white people? It's affecting them, but I mean, they make the majority of the numbers. So we really have to talk about the disparity that's happening in the African American community. There's something happening here, and we can't ignore it. That white Hispanic damn sure wanted to. That's why he pivoted to, man, what about the whites? Because what he wanted to do was hop on the sympathy train for white folks. That's exactly where he's trying to go. And then try to end the segment out there. But that didn't happen. Oh, notice the septum rate.
What was most surprising to you as you were compiling the data and getting a final report?
I think, unfortunately, there was not much of a surprise. I think within our communities, the indigenous community, the migrant community, the undocumented community, any community of color, this is just...
Yikes. Ma'am, you need to cut that. That's not a community of color. And again, we're not colored. So, and it's like an undocumented, and are y'all peeping what they're doing? So again, black folks, you are the catalyst for them getting, man, we don't have anybody to give us statistics. We don't have, so you need black voices that have hard evidence and hard numbers to start advocating for you. Are y'all catching this? So when I saw this little story, I'm like, hold on, let me go ahead and listen to this. Oh, caught a con. I caught a con here.
Just a mere reflection of the truth that we have known for a long time. We know that violence has existed from the conception of this country, and it just continues to evolve and take a different name and role.
Oh, are you referring to white supremacy? Boy, if these folks do not sit up there, I'm telling y'all, they be sitting up in these spaces, listening, ear hustling, getting game. Y'all better know it. You better know it. They getting game in these spaces, family. They in these spaces getting major games, soaking it all up. And you're literally hearing them re-talk. This is stuff we've heard spoken amongst each other. So the way that she's using, and listen to how they'll talk. So how she mentions these groups by name and then broad stroke everybody else. But the numbers speak to a specific group. And I think that's what threw a monkey wrench in this entire conversation is the numbers guy, he told the truth. Now what you're hearing is, damn, how do we attach ourselves to this problem when the black folks are a consistent quarter? We don't have the numbers to add up to them. How do we now start making this seem like it's an all of us problem? All right, so I hope y'all catching that part. What this is about us being, once again, the front line, because all of us are going through this, but you're trying to sneak in the invaders. We are not down with that. So now go back to what that Dusty Negro said, the mayor of Chicago. He's pushing the global conversation. Also, Kamala Harris already did that when she sat down with my video about with her and Al Sharpton's interview. What's she pushing? Coalitions. Mind you, this is so super grifty and grimy because this study was never centered. It never centered us. It's just that the numbers are so egregious that you have to bring us into the conversation. And you don't have hard data to talk about all of your women agendas, your undocumented agendas. You don't have the numbers to substantiate that. So the only hard evidence that you got, us. So we're all people of color. Ooh, ma'am, you missed the boat. Yeah, that time has came and went, ma'am. So yeah, but she's trying hard to sell it, ain't she? Oh, she's trying hard to sell it, ain't she?
I think what's the most disturbing out of all of this, it's the impunity rate and how the judicial system has been set in place to hold people accountable, and that people are supposed to be innocent and to proven guilty, and yet we see people that have a weapon and a badge and they determine who lives and dies basically under their discretion with no proper training, with no adequate tools. And this is affecting thousands and thousands of people in the United States.
So, we have to
She literally, I mean, what she just said almost sounds, I'm trying to remember who that was. That sounds like someone's speech from like 2020. Am I tripping? Am I like that last part? That sounds like someone's speech from 2020. Because what she just said right a minute ago, that's like George Floyd, Breonna Taylor conversation. Like, did you get that from Tamika Mallory? Because that line ties in with the patriarchy and all of that. Pretty sure I heard that line before. But I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Those are your original words.
end here, but we're going to conduct this interview in Spanish as well, and we'll post.
Yes, they are. Because that was the target audience. We were never the target subject. So, needless to say, there's evidence of the agenda not necessarily turning out the way that they wanted it. When this
country is doomed. It is doomed, not just because of African Americans, but because by 2040, this country is going to be minority white European. You hear me? Minority white European. And you guys are going to have to start working more with Hispanics, who make up a larger portion of the population than y'all do.
Thanks to your policies. And now we have people that have to do real hard data checking. And now they have had to find out for themselves that, oh, well, for us to get anything in America, we're going to have to start working with the blacks. See, what he was trying to sell was, y'all going to have to start working with the Hispanics. Nah, baby, we holding court. They learn it real fast. Hey, man, there's something going on here. Yeah. So you understand that there's a tipping point. What side of the fence do you want to be on? Because it ain't going to go on forever. Nothing does. That's just the law of nature. That's the law of the universe. And history has proven it to be true. And, you know, when you think of all of the things that they have thrown at us, get your booties to the poll. Was it no vaccine, no vucking, whatever that crap was to make sure you went and got jabbed up? I mean, everything they pushed down our throats. Stacey Abrams. We hate black women because we didn't support Stacey Abrams. We thought Stacey Abrams was full of crap. So black men must hate black women because we weren't feeling Stacey Abrams. I guess, and then they say black men hated Kamala Harris because we don't like Kamala Harris. Well, what about all the black women that did not vote for her when she was running for president? Do they also hate black women? But then you would also have to, again, I'll beg to ask the question, do all of your Planned Parenthood champions hate black children? I mean, it's just reality. I know we get into this realm of calling things what we would like to call them when they're not what they are. Death is death. Life is life. See, right now, you can see I'm in front of you alive. If I'm unalive, then I would not be able to be right in front of you right now. It is very much that simple. I don't need to go to a doctor to have him describe what stage of alive I'm in. Maybe I just made too much sense for somebody right there, but that's all right. You know, it's so funny. I look at all the butthurt Democratic shield bots that keep popping out the woodwork. And I would advise a lot of y'all, if y'all start getting a bunch of follows from people with like no followers, they got 18 people following them, block them. Because you're about to start getting a lot of them because you're the grassroots and they need to infiltrate the grassroots message. So just be mindful of that. Same is what happened on my Twitter today with this this dude, the little boy they got out there in New York that stabbed that white boy. Now, the way they talking about this black kid, I'm just like, where's his people from? Number one, he's 18. They actually are calling him a teenager. The New York Post is calling him a teenager. And so I got some moronic coon that doesn't understand the anti-black headline history of the New York Post. When I ask teen, I says, where is his family from? Because they always adultify our children. So it's very out of the ordinary for especially a New York Post to be doing that. I mean, shoot, they couldn't wait to throw Breonna Taylor in. Breonna Taylor's ex-boyfriend caught for dope. It's like that still is not even the man that she was with at the time her life was taken. As a first responder, by the way, because Breonna Taylor is a unalived first responder by the hands of another first responder. I don't know why that was never part of the conversation or trial. Never made sense to me that never came up in the media. Of them talking about connections and all of that. Yeah, because she's a freaking paramedic. He's a cop in the same area. You think that they never had any type of run-in before? She's not some random individual. She works for the same. They're all so at the first responders ball and the first responders shindig and this and that, where all the police and firefighters and paramedics get together. This would not be abnormal for her to have known her killer. But here goes this dunce. And so, I just see people, man, you asked a dumb question. And see, again, odd thing about it is, and let me tell y'all something, because I also kind of, there's going to be a certain kind of energy, and I know where it comes from. For all you butthurt Malachi York followers, kiss my ass. Say it again. Kiss my ass. And, y'all more than welcome, but I mean, I just can't help but notice all the connections with all of you people who are around there. Kiss my ass. So every now and then a Malachi Yorker will hop out the window. Hey, you come out here and say something stupid in your post. I don't like it. Oh, no, we don't like it. Kiss my nah. That's a whole nother story. And again, because he got his whole page, his thumbnail is an old picture of Malachi York. Hey man, y'all want to go over there and hang out? You just one of them youngins over there at African Bambata's house, then that's good for you. And that's a whole nother thing. They call FBA cult members. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. And I'm let me just be keeping a buck with y'all. Some of these folks from these little weird organizations is running right around in y'all circles. Man, there's some. We are just, again, we're going into a season that people should be overly cautious, overly mindful, tighten up your relationships. I would advise not really dealing with the faceless. Just me personally. Because a faceless individual has nothing to lose. If you have something to lose, why take a chance? Just words of wisdom. Babylon is falling. Babylon is falling. Let it fall. And let us rise. Can you dig it? I hope y'all have enjoyed this evening's broadcast and conclusion to Symbolic Politics. This has been Symbolic Politics Part 2. And I wanted to break it down to you because we got down to the nitty gritty. Because pay attention. La Raza. They're also trying to use that to make an excuse. Because remember, some of that is border agents they talking about. You couldn't muster up the numbers to come close to 12% of the population making up a consistent quarter of death by law enforcement in America. There is an absolute problem. We've called it out long ago. And so to say that you would champion police with that type of number says that you are extremely anti-Black. And when you use Black folks as a voter base, make promises that you will get them protections, and then turn your back as soon as you get in office, offer those votes, you deserve to be voted out. So for everybody who doesn't understand why we say what we say, I guess is because the difference between us and you is we wouldn't be heartbroken if there was
No medicine, there'd be no mayonnaise. No medicine, there'd be no mayonnaise. No medicine, there'd be no mayonnaise. No medicine,
there'd be no white people and no jabulations. There'd be no.
Got to watch these old niggas.
And broke Hogans too. You got to watch out for the broke Hogans. And family, I've been sitting on a cold Hooper for a while. But I ain't trying to get my that monstrosity always be lurking, trying to flag my stuff. So, you know, yeah, y'all know old Monster Face. Monster Face be over there lurking.
Tariq, I just want to talk about my sexual preference, Tariq.
Whoever that was that found the video of that monster, I don't think I'm going to ever be the same. Thanks for the nightmares. Good freaking grief. I mean, hey, man, again, to each his own, but for had me just be quiet. How many of y'all saw that little clip?
Yeah, this is hi boys. This is every woman's dream.
How many of y'all saw that? Maybe I'm just way too old school. How do y'all just be carrying on like, oh yeah? Negro, if you don't go put on these pads and line up under center or over center because you playing middle linebacker, they run a 3-4, boy. She could play dead center. Who old enough to remember Gilbert Brown? Who old enough to remember Gilbert Brown? Played for the Green Bay Packers. Who remember Big G? Good old Big G from man. Oh, 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 oh. Gilbert was a beast, wasn't he? He was like a big old silverback on the field taking. Boy, he can get around it. He was fast, too. Oh, yeah, Big G was that wall. You already know. Ooh-wee.
Tariq, soon as you hike that ball, I'm coming.
Let me get out of here if I get my channel taken down. Oh, Lord. So, saying all that to say, we have to be very clear about our agenda. And we have been very clear about our agenda. So clear that when they went to go look for numbers to try to find ways to work their way into the conversation, it still led right back to us. It's simple as that. There's nothing you can say. We tried to go find all of these indigenous and Hispanic numbers, and man, well, I'll find the numbers. We're not even close to, and that's all of our groups. We still not even close. We're thousands behind Black folks. That's not crossing illegally. That's not being laid down by Border Patrol. No, that's just being an everyday, foundational Black American in America. You run 1 out of 4% a chance, or a 1 out of 4 chance of it being your day-to-day because they decided that you should no longer walk the earth. Well, for those of you who think that, man, I mean, shoot, if you ain't really doing nothing, I mean, the police ain't gonna mess with you if you ain't doing nothing now. I mean, meanwhile, we have our cities being flooded with a bunch of illegal immigrants that are not being targeted by the police, as you can see. Border Patrol is not laying them down. So they're getting here, calling back home for that good old package of that fentanyl that these folks is falling dead over, and say, hey, bring that good dope up on here because, man, Joe Biden got it cracking up here in America, family. All you Black Biden sexuals, we're going to have to leave you where you are. And we fully understand you asleep. And you're going to have to understand, family, not everybody going to make it like them Biden sexual shields over there on the corner.
But I'm telling you, as a psychologist, I'm not going to be able to psychologize all of them on the corner. Some of them going to sleep for good. And I'm
all because
buck dancing, shuffling, scratching, bootlicking, bamboozling, Uncle Tom Negro.
And so anybody who is saying that we need to worry about this group and that group, like that weirdo in Chicago, that mayor up there that started telling you all of this about what's going on in these other groups, let's always remember.
I think you're right there. I would not limit our employment demands to Negroes. I would include Puerto Ricans and other minorities throughout our country, which have been similarly discriminated against, though not for so long a period of time as Negroes.
Puerto Ricans weren't enslaved. Yeah, this is a problem that stems from slavery. And this compensation, yes, sir, this compensation is coming to people who were enslaved by the white man for 400 years. The Puerto Ricans don't even fit into this picture.
Well, they do fit into it.
No,
they do fit into it.
The problem is the Negro problem. They're not lynching Puerto Ricans.
If a dark-skinned Puerto Rican went down to Mississippi, he probably would be lynched too.
Spanish, he wouldn't be lynched.
No, they don't.
It's the Negro here, and as long as he can speak Spanish or some other language, or if he ties his head up with a turban or something, he can go anywhere in Mississippi or in your home. that he desires.
You're not aware of the fact, are you, that African students have been arrested in our demonstrations in the South?
When they
speak French.
When they have been mistaken for the so-called Negro in America, they've been arrested.
What I'm saying is...
And always remember, that dude that Malcolm X is debating, that's one of Bayard Rustin's partners. Beware of the infiltrators. Beware of the people who are silently looking to attach themselves to our claim. Hashtag hands off our reparations.
You have no rights here. We're not under the empire.
So, for those of you Biden sexuals who really, really feel that you're just going to have to earn your keep and have to keep coming out here using the same old tactics, well, I will have to say I definitely speak for myself. Beatzillapdx official. Beatzillapdx official show. Those of you in the chat. Grassroots, new voices of black media, the voices of new black media. I would say it's safe bet that I speak for all parties involved when I tell you, Biden section, we proud dedicate this song to you.
Get up off of that cocaine and get up off of that crack. Get yourself together and get your mind back.
Yeah.
Yeah. They squabbling out there now. Yeah.
Y'all can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at beatzillapdx. You can email me at ourrealtruth@gmail.com. And if you feel so inclined to put some money in the bucket by way of donation to support this channel, first, you can give a like, then you can give a share, you can give a subscribe, you can become a member, and then you can also hit up CashApp at $beatzillapdx. That is CashApp, $beatzillapdx. Also, we have PayPal, which is Zilla Muzak. That is ZILLAMUZAK at PayPal. So with that being said, I hope y'all have enjoyed this broadcast as much as I have. This was a good one. I think we covered everything that needed to be covered in these two parts. And just showing you the empty symbolism that they're trying to sell us that's just simply not going to cut it. While other organizations are having funded studies to try to figure out how to start maneuvering on into our claims. Gotta watch for all of these folks' families. So with that being said, y'all have a good, blessed weekend. For those of you who have 3-day weekends, be safe. And, as we say here, keep your 3 smooth stones at the ready because we going to stay black, stay vigilant, stay alive. And we're going to say black first, black first, black first. Shalom, y'all. Y'all have a good one. That happened again. Why is that in here? Why is that there? That's not supposed to be there. Wait a minute. Where's my outro here? There it is. Again. Black first, y'all. Have a blessed weekend, y'all.
When you know who Satan is, yes, sir, you don't have to kill him. No. The stone of truth. Yes. See, that's what you throw. Yes, right. Allah says, had we wished to take a pastime from before, surely we would have done it. Nay, we cast truth at falsehood till we knock out its brains. Every one of you that knows the truth, stand up and tell it from the mountaintop. Black people can't take it no more. So wherever you are on the job, in the factory, I don't care where you are. If you know the truth, stand up on the truth and tell Satan, who the hell are you to try and pick my friends? Farrakhan is God's man, and you are from the enemy of God. So to hell with you. Stand up on it like a man.